What if I told you that the Middle East, the region long divided by sectarian wars, proxy conflicts, and foreign interventions, may be on the verge of forming its own NATO-style military alliance? A Doha skyline once considered untouchable was ripped apart by missiles in September 2025, shattering the illusion of safety. Suddenly, the Gulf, the heart of global energy and diplomacy, looked vulnerable. But instead of breaking apart under the pressure, a new reality is emerging. Sunni and Shia rivals, long at odds, are quietly laying the groundwork for a joint defense structure. This isn't just talk of another pact, it's the possibility of an Arab-Islamic NATO-style alliance. With Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey at its core, and with Iran's powerful axis of resistance looming in the background, the question is no longer if such a bloc can exist, but when it will rise. And if it does, it could change the global balance of power forever. The turning point came with the Doha attack. For decades, Qatar was viewed as a safe haven, home to U.S. military bases, oil wealth, and diplomatic influence. It seemed beyond the reach of direct war. But on September 9, 2025, Israeli missiles struck the Lataifia district in Doha, killing several Hamas members and a Qatari security officer. The message was clear: there is no safe space left in the Middle East. This strike did more than just escalate the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It shocked the entire region into realizing that instability had reached their doorstep. Gulf leaders, who once believed wealth and Western protection guaranteed safety, suddenly faced the reality that war could spill into their cities. Behind closed doors, policymakers began to ask, how long can we remain fragmented when our enemies strike so boldly? The Doha attack became a rallying cry, not only against external threats, but also for the urgent need to unify defense. And right on cue, the seeds of a new alliance were planted. Just days after the Doha strike, Riyadh and Islamabad announced the renewal of their long-standing military pact. On the surface, this was nothing new. Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have cooperated for decades. Pakistan's army has trained Saudi forces, and Riyadh has financially supported Islamabad in times of crisis. But this time, the agreement went deeper. Intelligence sharing, advanced defense systems, and joint counter-terrorism operations. Why does this matter? Because Pakistan is no ordinary ally. It is the only Muslim-majority nation with nuclear weapons, a battle-hardened army, and decades of experience fighting insurgencies. For Saudi Arabia, struggling to balance Iran's regional power and internal security threats, Pakistan offers the muscle and credibility to build something bigger. Think of it this way: NATO was built on the US nuclear umbrella and Europe's strategic geography. An Arab-Islamic NATO could stand on Pakistan's nuclear deterrent and Saudi Arabia's financial clout. The pact raised eyebrows in Western capitals, with analysts warning that a Riyadh-Islamabad axis might evolve into the foundation of a broader bloc, especially if Egypt and Turkey join. The message was subtle but unmistakable. The Islamic world may no longer depend solely on Western protection. If Saudi Arabia and Pakistan provide the backbone, Turkey offers the vision. President Tayyip Erdogan has long positioned himself as a champion of Muslim unity, blending Islamic populism with neo-Ottoman ambition. For years, critics dismissed his rhetoric as symbolic, but recent events prove otherwise. Turkey's intervention in Syria was once about protecting borders from Kurdish militias. Today, it has transformed into something far bigger, securing influence over Syria's new government and ensuring Idlib, long seen as a rebel stronghold, was not wiped out. Erdogan's government has positioned itself as both protector and negotiator in the Syrian conflict. This gives Ankara unique leverage. Unlike Saudi Arabia or Egypt, Turkey maintains open channels with both Sunni and Shia powers, balancing its NATO membership with ties to Russia and Iran. Erdogan has even hinted at reshaping the Muslim world into a bloc that can stand independently of Western oversight. For those who scoff at the idea of an Islamic NATO, Turkey's military, second largest in NATO after the US, offers proof that such a project is not just fantasy. Combined with its drone technology, regional bases, and economic ties, Turkey is an indispensable pillar in any emerging alliance. Erdogan's Ottoman dreams may once have sounded like nostalgia, Now, they are becoming geopolitical reality. But no discussion of Middle Eastern power is complete without Iran. For decades, Tehran has built what analysts call the axis of resistance, a network of loyal groups and governments spanning the region. Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, Shia militias in Iraq, and even influence in Syria have made Iran the de facto leader of the Shia world. This network gives Iran asymmetric power. While Gulf monarchies spend billions on Western arms, Iran has mastered proxy warfare, using allies to strike at enemies from multiple fronts. Just ask Israel, which faces Hezbollah rockets in the north and Hamas attacks in the south, or Saudi Arabia, which has seen its oil facilities targeted by Houthi drones. The twist in 2025 is that Iran has begun softening its stance towards Sunni states. Saudi-Iran rapprochement, brokered by China in 2023, was once dismissed as symbolic. But today, both sides are finding common ground, especially as foreign interference, from Israel to the US, continues to destabilize the region. Imagine this: the Shia-led axis of resistance aligning strategically with Sunni powers under a broader Arab-Islamic umbrella. For decades, sectarianism defined Middle Eastern politics. Now, survival may demand unity. And if that unity materializes, the West will be forced to confront a Middle East no longer divided, but consolidated. So, could it really happen? Could Sunni and Shia states, after centuries of rivalry, form a united bloc? The idea once seemed impossible, but today, the ground is shifting. The 2017 Islamic military counter-terrorism coalition failed largely because Iran was excluded. Yet now, instability and outside interference are pushing rivals closer together. Three realities stand out: shared threats like terrorism and Israeli strikes, economic interests that demand secure trade routes, and a global realignment as US influence declines while China grows. If Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey take the lead, and if Iran finds a role, the bloc may not look exactly like NATO, but it could function as one. For ordinary people, it would mean relying less on foreign powers and more on their own collective strength. Still, mistrust and rival ambitions could derail the project. The suspense lies in whether leaders will rise above history or repeat it. The Doha attack proved that no Gulf city is beyond reach, and now the pieces are moving fast. Saudi Arabia and Pakistan forging a deeper military pact, Turkey pushing its Ottoman-inspired vision, and Iran's axis of resistance expanding across the region. For the first time, an Arab-Islamic NATO feels within reach, a bloc that could unite Sunni and Shia powers against common threats. The only question is whether leaders will rise above centuries of mistrust to seize this moment, or let history repeat itself. If they succeed, the Middle East won't just defend itself, it will rewrite the rules of global power.